when piglets do it, it sounds cute. When the big ones do it, it can sound a little intimidating. But these are some sweet hogs right here. Also, a little pushy when they're hangry. Right, Albert? Welcome back, YouTube friends. Today is a bright, sunshiny day in the North Carolina Piedmont, and today we're going to solve some problems. We're going to solve 3 of them, in fact. We're going to talk about 3 things that all have the same solution. The first problem that we're going to solve is impact. The hogs have done a fantastic job of controlling the grass growth in this area, but there are some things that they don't like. So they began, after they ate the ice cream, they always eat the ice cream first. After they ate the good stuff, they left behind a lot of things that they don't like, and really put a hurt on the things that they do like this clover right here. So that's problem number 1 that we're solving today. Problem number 2 is that Vicky, our sow, has gotten overweight. Now, over the winter, while the last batch of meat hogs were out on the pasture system, she was in this pen by herself for the most part, and she did have occasional access to the pasture whenever it was dry enough, but the farmer, me, overfed her, and so now she's a little bit fluffy, and she needs to go on a low-calorie diet, because the problem this is creating for us is that she's not cycling, and she can't make any piglets for us, which she really wants to do, and Albert really wants to help her with, but that's not going to happen until we get her back into condition. Problem number 3 is that the hog paddock that we've seen so much in the beginning of this YouTube channel, just right across this fence, is just going nuts with grass. That's little mister over there. If you saw our series on pastured hogs, then you know that he was the one who got left behind because he was too small to go to the processor. I guess he's the little piggy who stayed home. This is Albert. He's our boar, and he has a job to do, but he can't do it because Vicky, our beautiful Queen Victoria, has gotten too big and too heavy, and so if you put all these problems together in a permaculture fashion, like they always say, the problem is the solution. So the problem to solve the grass problem, the solution to solve the grass problem is to feed it to something that likes grass. And these guys love grass, and we have way too much of it. So what we don't want to happen is for this pasture to go to seed and finish before our piglets get here. And so these guys are going to help us out. Right now I have given them access to paddock number 11, which is the starting point. Don't ask me why I numbered them in reverse, but that's number 11, and they've already done a pretty good job of picking it clean. They also have access to the lane which leads from number 11 to that shelter over there. Now these hogs won't live out here. They're just going to spend their days here, and they'll walk back to the shelter each night because, well, they like their current home, where I'm standing actually. That's Vicky's shelter right there. When you have a farm and hogs, they're going to dig stuff up. They found that tire in here. why people bury tires, I don't know. But today is the first day that they've been out here, and they're currently trapped in here. They have water, they have all the grass that they could eat, and if they want shelter, they have it right over there. So how do I get them back and forth? This is a hard fence. That is a hot wire, which I am not going to touch. Hi, handsome. So what we do is we use a temporary electric fence. Now, if you saw me moving hogs in other videos through the paddock system, you've probably seen the yellow wire that I roll up onto an orange spool, compliments of Home Depot. I think that's where the color comes from. And what I've done here is I've tapped into the electric here that keeps Albert from getting over to the pot bellies, because we don't need any pot belly babies. And that's poly wire right there. It's a pretty inexpensive solution. You can get it at most farm stores. This, I believe, came from Tractor Supply. And what I've done is just put one single wire in a line leading all the way past the lower pond and into the paddock system, which we're going to go have a look at right now. They can come right on through here, and they've mowed this pretty good. Something, whatever it is, I don't know about this grass over here. They don't like it as much as the grass right here, and I don't know a whole lot about grasses. Look, there's some clover, and they still haven't touched it. If you got any ideas on that, please let me know. All right, so this is the gate that leads up to the trailer when it's time to load the hogs. And you've probably seen me walking through this gate many times. I'm gonna get to do it one more time. And this is just to give you a look at what's going on. Don't get excited, Albert. I'm just passing through here. All right. Hello, mister. All right, so this has been a popular location right here for me to report the status of the grass. And you can see the impact here is still a little bit high, but we have lots and lots of seedlings popping up here. And the entire system is like this right now. Everywhere there's bare dirt is something popping up. And some of it I'm really excited to see. And others, well, a lot of it, I don't even know what it is. But when it gets tall enough, they're going to eat it. Now that sound you might find really intimidating if you first start raising hogs. But what it means is, feed me, I'm hungry. They're trying to convince me to go get them some pelleted feed, but that's not going to happen. So you can see, leaving their deposits here. Last time through here, there were plenty of other deposits, and that's why this grass here is such a deep green color. I'm not going to turn the fence off, rule 1, or step 1, because I'm not going to be walking through it. So here's more of the poly wire right here, and this is how we keep the hogs where we want them. And right here, very tall grass. Right here, very short grass. That's because they've been grazing on this. And this is how this farm got its name. Thistles everywhere. We're whipping it into shape. Maybe we'll have to change the name to Green Acres or something in the future. But what we're looking at here is all of this here, I believe, is ryegrass. And what's going to happen is they're going to damage that paddock right there pretty good next few days. Then I'll move them on and we'll go further and further through. Right here, this is very close to where the last batch lived and spent all their time. This, if you look back in their playlist, was almost entirely dirt, because this is a very high traffic area and the pigs love to lay right here and gather up the morning sun. Purposely oriented their shelter so that they would get plenty of morning sun. I think this grass right here is actually wheat. You can see it's a little bit different. It's a darker color green. They seem to like it. And the reason I think it's here is from the bales of straw, wheat straw, that I used to fluff up this whole area here as bedding. In this particular spot here at the top of the hill, this is the section of the pasture that the hogs use as their latrine. Contrary to pig mythology, pigs don't really like laying in their own feces. They will if they have to, if they're pen kept. Sometimes they don't have a choice. But the first thing that they do every time I move them from this half of the system to that half of the system is to choose a new latrine area. And where she's eating right now and apparently enjoying a nice meal is their previous latrine location. Now the area where Mr. is grazing right now, that was almost entirely straw, because when you probably can't see the slope here, but this slopes downward toward the fence, and you can see probably that there's still straw up against that wire. So they're enjoying life right now, and eating a very healthy, nutritious meal. This is ryegrass. Is about, I think it's 18% protein. And there we see, passing in a distance, Mrs. Thistle Draw on her way down to spoil her potbelly pigs. They're the only pet pigs on the property. Mrs. Thistle Draw. It's the reason we have hogs, because she wanted to rescue some, and she did. And I decided if I was going to put in all these fences and stuff, that I wanted to get paid back. So we raise these delicious little beasts. All right, so back to the point. Sorry for the diversion. You can see here, this looked just like that, and they've done a really good number on it. Pigs have a tendency, and I think cows do the same thing, when you put them in a new paddock, they walk in, they start munching away immediately, or they go all the way to the end and graze their way back. It's fascinating to watch. So here we have the midpoint. This is all from the video where I reseeded this pasture, and it looks like some of this is so tall that it's blowing over. This particular area here, not sure why it got so much taller than the rest, but could have something to do with shade. It's hard to know. This area here is the beginning of the lane, so when I have the hogs in, when I'm rotating them through the second half of the paddock system over here, this is where they walk through, and this was complete mud. It was completely covered in mud. What they didn't eat got trampled, and was this entire lane all the way down to there all the way back to here was just bare dirt. And here in this general vicinity, this is the lowest point in this path. And when it rains, their hooves leave little prints. And they have a tendency to pug the place up really badly. And so it just gets softer and softer. I want to walk over here real quickly. This particular spot right here, I failed to replant this. When I was seeding, I did that half, then I did this laneway here, and I did these paddocks, and I did not get this half of this one. But it doesn't seem to have made a great deal of difference, because as the exposed soil warms up quicker, we see that a lot of things have germinated here, and we still have a little bit of oats and some ryegrass out here, but this is going to be a little bit more natural in this particular paddock. This, I think, is called dock, and when the hogs walk in here, they're going to wipe that stuff out. So that's it. I really appreciate you coming by and visiting today. This problem with too much grass is going to be solved in just a few weeks. I'll keep you abreast of what's going on, and we're going to get to see that these hogs here will learn the rotation system by example from observing little mister, who knows all about the routine. And because when they wipe out that grass and they see me take the wire down, they're going to march right in and start eating. And they do love it. I've noticed that they have a tendency to eat, rest, when they have access to pasture. It's kind of like cows. They do that. All right, so that's everything, folks. I'll leave a link to the playlist that I've referenced in this video for you to check out if you're interested. And so if you made it this far through the video, this is probably the kind of stuff you're interested in. And if you are, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and be sure and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. And we'll see you back here soon. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye.